gosh, why didn't I read The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess Volume 2 and 3 2 years ago? I'd be so much happier. Hi everyone, number one Marmaduke fan here, and we're still working our way through just one of the best manga I've read in years, one of the best comics I've read in years. All right, well, what's the spoiler-free review? It's good, go read it, okay? Spoiler, here we go. So, for my review of Volume 1, it was my first video for this channel. I kind of argued that Link is this Ivanhoe character. He's defined by these, deep ideas of virtue and chivalry and self-sacrifice. Volume 2, I talked about the Red Badge of Courage and how basically they're spending the entire volume dunking on Link and just pushing this guy. He keeps getting his butt kicked over and over again. He's basically a shame-motivated character. He just feels embarrassed at how much he's getting his butt kicked. And so Volume 3 is basically 90% Link kicking butt the entire time and being awesome and majestically riding on his horse and swinging his sword. And this is a payoff volume where, like swords clanging into each other, that can be fun, I guess. But if I like the character who's swinging the sword, then everything starts to hold together. I read a lot of Volume 1s and then dip out of the series if I don't like the first couple volumes, because I figure you gotta hook me by Volume 1 and 2. Maybe if I force myself to keep reading, it'll be kind of fun, but will I be invested in the characters? Once in a while, there'll be like someone who surprises me where it's a weak start, but then a few volumes will go by, boom, and then they hit me with something to say, whoa, okay, that's a twist. Now I'm really interested. I wasn't expecting it to go this direction. So a lot of the strength of this Volume 3 is based on how well it knocks you over the head in Volume 1. Spoilers, with Link literally losing his arm and lying drowning face down in a small puddle of water. Wow. I wanted to talk about Volume 3 because I feel like we're in like a rough patch in comics Twitter, in the world in general, and there are ideas in these stories that are, they're kind of like really obvious, like there's a moral to the story. It's good to be a hero. But maybe if you try to tackle it from a different angle, there's some depth to the moral that you hadn't touched on previously. And I always like returning to The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings by J.R.R. Tolkien, because when you return to them as an adult, you still get magically transported into the same world that you occupied in your imagination as a child. But you start understanding, wow, this story did something for me that I didn't even expect. It taught me something. So I'm kind of presenting this manga series as having these deep themes that don't just make it a good story, but actually you can take this with you into life, really. And I think the difference between virtue signaling or being a white knight, I'm gonna come save people, and actually being virtuous, actually being a real knight, embodying the virtuous qualities of knights, not being like an internet warrior, white knight. What was I thinking? Oh yeah, Mark Waid. Mark Waid had this line, the weak protect the strong. And people dunked on him because the weak protect the strong kind of sounds creepy and Darwinian. I am strong, you are weak. I will protect you, weakling. But if you don't have the creepy Darwinian aspect to it, I kind of sympathize with Mark Waid because I kind of felt like I knew what he was trying to say, but he was making it sound stupid because Mark Waid's kind of like, Mark Waid needs to read Twilight Princess manga and stop being a baby. All right, but if the weak protect the strong is the wrong way of saying it, maybe there's no way to bumper sticker it. Maybe Andrew Clavin says one of the reasons we tell narratives and one of the ways we use fiction is to express that which we can't just express in a series of little statements or little bumper stickers. You can't dumb down be brave into a bumper sticker without it losing its wump. So you use the narrative where the theme is be brave, but the narrative is what immerses you into it. So I'm going to flip through this. Akira Higumikawa, you are my sensei. All right. So Volume 2 left off with Link having kind of this interesting reaction to the great light spirit saying, you are the chosen one. He just doesn't want to be the chosen one. He didn't ask for this. He's basically been running around desperately trying to save his own life and swinging his sword crazily, trying not to die. And he doesn't feel like that qualifies him to be a hero and have the weight of the world on his shoulders. And there's this nice little subtle visual motif where he doesn't have the hat on because the hat is the symbol of the hero. And he's just not wearing it because he just doesn't feel up to it. And Midna's character is basically, she's a little sadistic, she's a tease. She's a little hard to figure out, but she's not a bad person, even though she kind of presents herself as a selfish, cold-hearted person. So she pushes Link and makes him think in a lot of ways, basically because she's kind of cynical, but she's teaching him. You should just accept it. Maybe then the gods will give you muscles. It's not like I don't believe in the gods, but I want to set my own path. Finding your own path is fine, but where are you going? We passed this spot before. So he's literally lost, emphasizing the theme that he just doesn't know what the heck he's doing. Now, in Volume 1, they basically spent all of Volume 1 of having Link in the village, kind of being a good big brother to the little kids of the village. And the funny thing about that is in the video game, that's the boring tutorial level, and you want to skip that as fast as possible. But based on... this is actually a good slow burn because it's building to something. Like, a slow burn is annoying if it's slow burn, slow burn, slow burn, and you build up to an anticlimax. But if you have a slow burn, slow burn, slow burn, and you build up to this kind of a climax, then it makes the slow burn even better because you realize what you've been building to the whole time. So in Volume 1, we established Link is a big brother kind of character. He's an orphan. He's basically been adopted by the village. The parents in the village are kind of his surrogate parents. The little kids in the village are basically his surrogate little siblings. So he says, no, I don't want to be a hero. I want to help the people who are important to me. And he puts the hat on. The chosen one, you are the great hero of the land, the child of destiny, the descendant of hero stuff. None of that matters to him. He cares about basically his adopted family and his people, his friends, the people who are closest to you in your life. That love is the motivating factor for a lot of people to keep living, to keep moving, to become a hero. And I love that, but he's not done. He's basically overcome like his deep sense of abiding shame and frustration with himself for being a failure. And now at least he kind of like knows the direction he's going, but he still has to develop the qualities to actually protect the people he cares about. So jumping ahead, each volume seems to like come at this at a different angle. So Volume 2 is all about him feeling humiliated, him feeling ashamed, like he's not a good man anymore because he wasn't able to protect the people he loved. And now that we know the thing he loves these kids, he loves his basically his adopted family at the village. He's one of the most normal guy versions of Link ever. What's the worst thing that could happen to him? He can see his family. They're right there, but he can't touch them because of the magic curse. So the magic curse is like he turns into a wolf in the Twilight realm, and everybody thinks he's a wolf, or their spirits kind of like in a wraith world, and they can't see him. Right. So there's a magic element to it, but it's almost like being apart from someone you love, or feeling isolated, feeling like you have no friends, you have no family, or you can't talk to them. That's his problem. Those children don't know a thing about your struggle. What I've done doesn't matter. I saw them again, and we're all alive and safe. That's all that matters. Somehow, after searching so long and hard, I finally found them. We were together, but it's like we weren't. So he doesn't let the present problem cause him to despair because he keeps his goal in mind of what he's working towards. He's going to work towards breaking the curse so he can be with his family again. This book hits me in so many places. So maybe one of my problems with Twilight Princess is you mostly follow it from the perspective of Link, which means you don't get to see a lot of other characters' perspectives. So Ilia, you save her, but then she's kind of like, she has like post-traumatic stress syndrome or something, or she has amnesia. And so I basically spend most of the game thinking, okay, there's Ilia, she's amnesia girl. And Akira Himakawa are doing like a great job of building a narrative with this character based on like the little hints and snatches of story you got in the game. So she's contemplating suicide in a Legend of Zelda manga because she has no hope. She feels like I'm thinking like Goblin Slayer. Like Goblin Slayer got infamous because it has kind of this some X-rated stuff happens in Goblin Slayer that wouldn't be a good fit for the Legend of Zelda world. But what I like about the Legend of Zelda world is it is implying that this is a dark world in such a way that a young reader can feel the point without having it like slapped over their face with a lot of graphic details. So she like nicks her finger because she drops the glass and cuts herself, and she contemplates cutting her wrist because she sees no way out, she sees no hope, and then like she hears a cat, and like the idea of caring for this cat reminds her of Link being someone who's very kind and affectionate to animals. Even if she doesn't know if her family's alive or dead, she can hold out hope without like a logical reason to believe that they could be alive. Because she doesn't know they're dead, she's going to hold out hope as long as she can. Yee, boy. Oh, why is this book hitting me in so many places? All right, so the theme of heroism has to keep getting developed. So one of the things I really like about this is a lot of Shonen Jump protagonists. They're the Determinator. Their primary personality trait is that they are determined. Determination is almost like this superpower that they just summon up vast quantities of determination. Oh, I have 50 arrows in my chest and vital organs and my heart and lungs, but through the power of determination, I stand up and charge my ki and blast away all enemies before me. So this story is a little bit different, where, yeah, determination is a key attribute of the main character, but he has to basically develop some common sense, and he's got to, like, sit his butt down and learn how to do some stuff. So he meets, like, this ancient spirit. Power does not inhabit a blade without bravery, so kind of like the samurai idea of the blade is the soul. Do you think you are brave as you stand before me now? You're all desperation and bravado. So he's getting told. He didn't feel like he was up to the task of being the chosen one, because he's basically been running around screaming, trying to stay alive this whole time, and his sensei, his teacher, picks this up immediately. Be brave to gain strength, or gain strength to be brave, if you wish to gain true bravery and save Hyrule from impending crisis with your own hands. Then learn my sword technique the hard way. Stand. His character thus far has been determined. He's learned how to sword fight. He's learned how to be brave and go face the monsters he's afraid of. He's learned how to get his butt kicked and to get up from that, but he can't stop. He has to keep getting up, and he has to have more than just bravado. He has to do more than just affect bravery. I really love this. Be brave to gain strength, or gain strength to be brave. He's actually got to learn how to sword fight, right? And if he can learn how to sword fight, that'll help him be brave. And if he can be brave, he's going to learn how to sword fight better. It's this catch-22 where cowardice makes you weak, weakness makes you more of a coward, being more of a coward makes you more weak, and vice versa. Being more brave makes you stronger, being stronger makes you more brave. But it's not just physical strength. It's moral fortitude. I think I remember this scene from the game where there's like this slow-mo of the monster. So this guy lobbed off his arm and left him for dead, and there's this great like style change where it's like normal manga style, shadowy, almost kind of like Berserk-esque inspired manga style. So the rest of this is like this big epic fight of like Link looking heroic on his sword, and everybody being in awe of how cool he looks. Is it the same guy? And he's earned this because he's been having his butt kicked for 2.5 volumes. I wanted to read this too. So, comics Twitter is nuts. This is kind of like the moment that is laying out for you, like the importance of being virtuous, not virtue signaling, but being virtuous. So, I just kind of want you to hear this for yourself. So, says King Bulbin, the monster, the strong and powerful shall rule the world. Weaklings must obey the strong or be struck down. It isn't about good and evil. It's just the way of things. For myself, I trust my own strength. I am your superior, and here I will prove it. And so Link thinks about it, and he responds, strength? What is strength? Is it displays of power and mocking the weak? Destroying beauty simply to satisfy your greed? Is that true strength? I won't let you hurt my friends anymore. Protecting the innocent, that is strength. Bam! Okay, this is what is wrong with Mark Waid saying the strong protect the weak. He's only focusing on power dynamics. He's only focusing on the oppressors and the oppressed and their allies. But the worldview which only sees strength and popularity and YouTube ad revenue, social media reach, popularity, money, like all those things can be good. But if that's all you have and you don't have virtue, you have a kind of Darwinistic, haha, I'm on top of the food chain, I'm the alpha male worldview. But if you understand the importance of not signaling you're virtuous on social media, but actually believing in the principles of virtue and in believing in self-sacrifice on behalf of others, then you develop these actual characteristics that actually make you strong and actually help you endure when you're weak, when you're defeated. Like, I'm the best, I'm popular, I've got lots of money. None of that works when you're poor and unpopular and nobody likes you and you don't have the popular opinion anymore. You have to have principles to carry you through when the world seems like it's against you and it seems like there's no hope. Hope is based on principle, it's based on love, it's based on having a more fundamental belief system you can point to that is more than just what you feel today or what's popular today. You need to attach your worldview to something with substance. And then there's a great epic fight scene. He applies what he learns. I won! Zelda's CDI for life. I wonder if that couldn't have been on purpose, could it? Could the English translation team put that in there? How about a kiss for luck? I can't wait to bomb some Dodongo. And then he gets what he wants. What was his problem? He missed his family. He loved these kids. He wanted to give them a hug. He couldn't touch them because he was cursed to be a wolf. And he gets to hug him. This book is so good. I want to skip to the book. In March this year, it has been 30 years since we teamed up and began life as manga creators. There have been lots of highs and lows, but we've finally reached a turning point. We'd like to take this occasion to make a fresh start and continue on with more enthusiasm than ever. Also, we recently resumed Western horseback riding. We are just beginners, so, without asking too much of ourselves, we're taking it easy and enjoying life that way too. We will develop a bond to rival the one between Link and Epona, his horse. By the way, parents, you want some great books to get your kids to read? Legend of Zelda Legendary Edition by this same team, Akira Himekawa. This is a T-rated book. I compare this to like Lord of the Rings, and these are kind of like The Hobbit in terms of... I like this one best because it has such great themes, but all of the original volume set they did, very fun, very kid-friendly, all ages books, great themes of heroism. They're just pure fun. I love them. The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past by Shotaro Ishinomori. Hey parents, you should get your kids this one too. And they can write an essay about like, oh hey, this guy did A Link to the Past and they did A Link to the Past. I'll write a book report on how they're different and how the themes are different. Come on, homeschool parents, get your kids reading manga. You'll thank me. Oh, and you should get them Pokemon Adventures Red and Blue box set with art by Mato. She got sick and someone else took on the art duties. I love Mato's art. I wish I had beaten Mother's Basement to doing a video on how great early Pokemon Adventures is. I'm kicking myself I wasn't the first one, but a review of Pokemon Adventures, the first few volumes, is coming. Fantastic. I haven't read new Pokemon manga, though. All right. It's a perfect manga. You gotta get it. Even if you are not a Legend of Zelda person, even if you haven't been big on the previous Legend of Zelda manga by this team, I think you should give this one a shot because they've basically perfected their art. These are two female masters of the craft joining forces. Just make something beautiful. All right, we're not going to 20 minutes. I'm #1 Marmaduke fan. I love you guys. Like, comment, subscribe. If you want to support this channel, check out my Subscribe Star. Thank you all, and I'll catch you later.